The quickest way to get people to conform to a new change or idea is by convincing them that it was always there. Since the start of the Marxist movement, communists have been quick to legitimize themselves using the past. Communist cavemen, communist gladiators. Okay, what's next? Communist farm animals? Wait. Animal Farm is a book by George Orwell that satirizes the Russian Communist Revolution. Here's how it goes. Life on a manor farm is tough. Mr. Jones, the farm owner, is too drunk and careless to look after the animals. One night, however, Old Major, a wise old boar, shares his dream of a life free from human oppression. After he dies, 3 pigs, Snowball, Napoleon, and Squealer, turn his ideas into the ideology of animalism and lead a rebellion that drives Jones off the farm. They rename it Animal Farm and set up 7 commandments to guide their new society. Snowball tries to educate the animals, while Napoleon quietly raises a group of puppies. When Jones returns to reclaim the farm, the animals defeat him again. However, tensions grow between Snowball and Napoleon, leading to a showdown over Snowball's plan to build a windmill. Napoleon unleashes the dogs he previously raised to chase Snowball away. After this, Napoleon takes full control and declares that the pigs will decide what is best for the farm from now on. Later, his first act as leader is to, funny enough, claim the windmill idea as his own. On Animal Farm, life worsens. The pigs break their own rules, take extra privileges, and constantly rewrite the commandments to fit their wants. Squealer becomes the mouthpiece of Napoleon and spreads propaganda to keep the animals obedient. The windmill they worked on building collapses in a storm, and Napoleon blames Snowball. Later, after being cheated by Farmer Frederick, the windmill is destroyed again in an attack. The hard-working horse boxer who fought in the battle and was injured is eventually sold to be butchered in the knacker so that the pigs can buy more alcohol, though the pigs do lie about his fate. By the end, the pigs behave exactly like the humans they replaced. They walk on 2 legs, wear clothing, carry whips, and even fully associate with other neighboring farmers, to the point the rest of the farm animals can no longer tell pig from man. The commandments are reduced to a single line. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The few animals that still remember the revolution realize that its ideals have been completely betrayed. Now, what is the message you should take from this story? Well, first, it's that any ideology is only as good as the people carrying it out. Animalism itself isn't portrayed as flawed, rather, its failure comes from corruption. It appeared to be a doctrine that was on track to becoming successful if not for pigs like Napoleon. If it wasn't obvious already by now, Animal Farm is an allegory of the Russian Revolution and the rise of Stalinism. Nearly every major character mirrors a real historical figure or entity. Napoleon represents Stalin, Old Major represents Marx and Lenin, Snowball represents Trotsky, Mr. Jones represents Tsar Nicholas II, Boxer symbolizes the working class, and Squealer embodies the Soviet propaganda machine. Through this, the Soviet government used propaganda and censorship to rewrite history, glorify the party, and justify repression, like how Squealer and Napoleon wrote Snowball as a traitor and justified violence by claiming the victims were working with him. Lastly, while the book is interesting, I do have one criticism. Snowball's character is too idealized to represent Trotsky in a meaningful way. Orwell portrays him as a perfect, well-meaning leader, focused on what's best for Animal Farm. Trotsky, on the other hand, was an idealist, but had a willingness to use extreme measures. For example, he was a staunch supporter of early communist violence, such as the suppression of the Kronstadt Rebellion, an attitude that Snowball doesn't reflect. If we're meant to believe that Snowball would have never twisted the commandments like Napoleon did, it also suggests that he would have never supported violence against his fellow animals, as one of the commandments says that no animal shall kill any other animal. Because Snowball doesn't engage in morally ambiguous or violent actions against his fellow animals, he cannot fully capture the complexity of Trotsky in a meaningful way. In conclusion, Animal Farm is a book about animals that criticizes Soviet leadership while giving sympathy to the Soviet working class, as well as idealist leaders that were exiled, like Trotsky. The main point of Animal Farm is to remind us that the danger isn't always in the ideas itself, but rather in the people trusted to carry them out. And that was Animal Farm. Thank you for listening.